Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So today I've got in another Accurist. This one sort of I just stumbled across really. I was out with my wife and I thought Thursday night shopping, let me pop into TK Maxx, have a little Gandhies or what they got, because sometimes they have a little gem in there. Quite cheaper as well than you normally find it at most other sort of watch shops and stuff. Having a little peruse for a little while, nothing really sort of jumped out at me. And then I saw a little Accurist chronograph. Sort of retail price £160. They're selling it for 40. Looks really beautiful. I dare say you may not be able to get it for the same price, but even if you get it for half the 160 price, I still think it's a really beautiful little watch. Yeah, I'm wearing it. It's been getting quite a lot of wrist time, and like I'll say in the video, I'm starting to sort of change my mind on chronographs. Yeah, I know. I didn't think it would ever happen, to be honest. I was never really big on chronographs, but they definitely are starting to grow on me. It's definitely something that, yeah, I quite like. And I like a nice chronograph, let's be honest. Doesn't mean I like all chronographs, but then I don't like all dress watches or dive watches either, so I'm guessing one of those things. But yeah, Accurist, they're not all winners, but this one's not bad. I'm not gonna lie, for the price, it's cool. But guys, thank you for tuning back in. And your support is always appreciated. And without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys and girls, so this is the watch. Do excuse me, I've got the window open. I don't want to give too much away, but you probably saw the price. Yeah, this is an Accurist, another chronograph. It's the 7216. As I told you in the intro, I got it in TK Maxx. And at a price like that, I don't think you can really blame me. Yeah, I had to nab it in. So this is the packaging it comes in. You've got the receipt at the top. It's got the pillow it came on. It does come with an instruction sort of manual, and it also comes with a bracelet adjustment guide. Just see how much links you take out, whatever. But I never use that. I have taken out 2 links for it to fit my wrist. My wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist. So yeah, it doesn't give you a lot of room or scope for larger wrists, but we'll talk about that later. Let's get all this put to the side anyway. Normal, obligatory Accurist purple box, and this is what you're left with. You can't. It's hard to. You can't not admit that this looks like a really nice watch. To be honest with you, when I said like £40 for a working chronograph from a reputable brand in the UK, and it looks like it does, I think that's pretty bang on, to be honest. But as I said, the model number is 7216. Inside, it's running a Quartz movement, as you can see by the ticking. And it is a Seiko VD53 movement. Not a bad movement, actually. Actually got pretty good reviews as a movement, so not bad at all. The whole construction, so fixed bezel, case, crown pushers, the screw down case back, solid end links, bracelet and press clasp, all 316L stainless steel. The case thickness is 11.6 millimeters. The case diameter, measuring without the crown or pushers, comes in at 41.1. When you consider the crown as well, it is 44 millimeters. The lug width is 22, and the lug to lug, tip to tip, is 47.8. That does stay at 47.8 given the fact there is no male end links to the center link, so that conforms nicely. The bezel is fixed, and like in keeping really most of the watch, part of my chamfered edge, it is basically brushed all round. The case back, as I alluded to already, is screwed down, and it has got Accurist and just other bits of writing on there. I do apologise, there's little smudges or anything on there, guys. I've been wearing this now for 2 or 3 days just to give myself an idea of the sort of latitude of pants and Pukka section for obvious reasons. The crown is situated at the 3 o'clock, and it is signed with the A, looking like a bit like an Avengers sign, but I think got the pushes at the 2 and 4 to operate the chronograph, which we'll go through in a bit. The strap material, again, as I said, is brushed. Outside links are also brushed. And most of this watch, guys, as I've said, you've got the clasp. Inside of the clasp is pressed, pressed, but also polished, which is pretty common. The case back itself is basically brushed. Got a couple little elements that are also polished. And as I said, the case, where it transitions with the bezel to the case, is also polished. But yeah, for the most part, it's all brushed. And the bracelet has got push pins. Inside, you'll see a directional arrow just telling you which way to push it. Obviously don't push the other way unless you're trying to add links or put it back together. The clasp is pressed, as I've already shown you, and it is signed also with the A for Accurist. The crystal covering that dial is a mineral crystal, and it is domed. You'll see how it distorts. But actually, yeah, for the price, I don't think you could grumble. £160. I think then you might have a little bit more of a case, given they do put sapphire crystal on their watches. So yeah, that's something. But yeah, on this watch, I'm happy. The water resistance, as you probably can make it on the dial, also is 50 meters. So that gives you 5 atmospheres of water resistance. And the weight will appear in the top right hand corner. It's in and around 120 grams, give or take. So let's have a look at the dial now, guys. So you've got a raised rehaut with a tachymeter on there in red. Just inside that, you've got a minute track. You've got a few little sort of different elements going on the dial. There's different sections. So you've got a minute track going around the outer edge. Inside that, you've got applied battens, but it also changes in terms of, it looks like it's a separate part for the dial. Just below the batten at the 12, you've got Accurist with the logo. Accurist underneath that, and 50 meters of water resistance. You've got different sub dials also. At the 3 o'clock, you've got a 24-hour for the time. At the 6 o'clock, you've got the second counter for the chronograph function. And at the 9 o'clock position, you've got the minutes in terms of the chronograph as well, which I'll show you in a moment. You've got at the 4:30-ish position, you've got the date window. So it allows you to have the date on there as well. And I do like the second hand, guys. I do like the fact it reaches out and touches the minute track, but also it's the same color as what they've done with the tachymeter, just for a little bit of variety in terms of the color, which is also nice. I think we all like a bit of color on our watches. Well, I certainly do. Just a little bit of something to break up for the contrast. But if you take the crown out, it will hack. You put it back in, it will start back up again. You put it to the first position, you can go through the date. I'll just scroll back through for 29, given that's when I'm recording, and then put it back in, and there you go. The pushers, I will make a disclaimer, guys. So I will start the pusher at 2 o'clock to start the chronograph function. You'll see it start ticking. In a moment, I will press it again and then press the pusher at the 4 o'clock just to reset it, just so you can have a look. But there you will see that there is a slight error with the watch. I didn't take it back just because it wasn't a massive deal to me. It might be something I look at fixing myself in the future. If anyone knows an easy fix, please do let me know. But without further ado, let me show you. So you press it again, obviously it will stop. If you press it, it will go back to the start, but it's 2 seconds behind. So instead of going on to the 60, it stops at 58. But what I tend to do, just to negate that, I press it once, twice when it lands there, and just leave it, just so it doesn't irritate me. I don't think my OCD could handle it being so off. But yeah, that's the dial, guys. That's the functionality it has. And like I said, I think it's quite a striking watch. And don't tell anybody, we'll keep it just between us, but chronographs are starting to grow on me. I never thought I'd say that, but actually I quite like this watch. So let me just pop it on the wrist quickly. My wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist for your reference. And as you saw at the start, I have taken two links out. It fits, once again, there we go. And it fits me a bit loose, but if I take 3 links out, it just doesn't really work, to be honest. It just feels a bit, yeah, it feels a bit too tight. But that's what it looks like on me. As I say, I just think it's a really striking looking watch, the colorways and stuff. But yeah, let me just take it off quickly, so then we can kick on with the rest of the video in terms of now. So what I'll do now, just give it a quick wipe. So now we're going to do the pants and Pukka. So if you've ever watched my channel before, you know I always start with pants. I like to go on a high with Pukka. So what I think is pants is I'd go with obviously the second hand on the chronograph being slightly off. That's a QC problem. I would have been well within my rights to take it back, but I didn't have any more in stock, if I'm being brutally honest. So I wanted to get my hands on this. So yeah, I kept it. So yeah, the chronograph second hand. The lume on this, a bit regrettable really. It's just got a little bit of lume on the minute, hour and second hands. Nowhere else. And even that's not great, if I'm being perfectly honest. The bracelet length, so as you saw at the start, I've only taken 2 links out. My wrist is really an average size wrist, so if you've got slightly larger wrist, as it seems to be a pattern with Accurist, you will have to inquire and ask for some more links, just because they seem a little bit stingy with their links. So the bracelet length could do a bit bigger, and the clasp is a bit nasty. I think if I do keep this watch, I will try and change it out. It should be quite easy, just pins each side, take it out and change it for something else. But yeah, the press clasp, not very nice, bit sharp. Yeah, not the greatest, to be honest. So just to surmise what I think is pants, I'd go with the chronograph second hand. I'd go with the lume. I'd go with the bracelet length and the clasp in terms of what I think is pants. What I think is Pukka, I think really the star of the show is the dial. I do like the black with the white and the red and silvers. I think it looks really, really nice. I do like this dial, and as I say, chronographs are starting to grow on me a little bit. The legibility, there's no AR coating that I can see on this watch, but it doesn't really matter. There's no time, you can't really tell the time, and you can't see what's going on there. The second hand alignment generally is pretty good, but it hits most of the markers pretty bang on. So yeah, no problem there. The fit and finish in terms of the brushing, the tolerances for the lugs and stuff, the fit and finish is pretty good, to be perfectly honest. Actually, I'd say very good for the price, given I only paid £40. And yeah, then the price is, I said, if you can pick this up for anything less than sort of £70-60, I think it's a lot of watch for the price. I've got to say, I picked it up for 40, and it felt like a bit like daylight robbery, to be honest. I think £40 for this watch is a real steal. So I was happy that I popped into TK Maxx. So yeah, just to surmise, I'll go with the dial, I'll go with the legibility, I'll go with the second hand alignment, the fit and finish, and the price in terms of what I think is Pukka. And would I recommend this watch? Yeah, I definitely would. Obviously, I've got a couple of issues, but given the price, I wouldn't pay £160 for it, if I'm being honest. If you can get it for half that, and obviously lower if you can, then yeah, definitely pick one up. Yeah, I really like this watch. It's going to get some wrist time, and then I'll decide whether I keep it or not. But it's going to be on my wrist for a little while. I don't doubt that for a second. But guys, let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like and subscribe, and always watch your time. Take care, guys. All the very best.